the most important thing we have to do first is to bring the cost down. Our cost disadvantage is approximately 20% to our main competitors, and that has been mushrooming over the years, so we have to reset the system with regard to our factor cost, with regard to our processes. So we will create a completely new company September 1st and start with a clean sheet of paper.
When you start, will you change the name? That's what everybody wants to know. I know you've said you haven't made a decision. Will you change the name?
That is a very interesting question, because since the tragedies of 2014, the loyalty to our brand has even increased in our home market, Malaysia. So it's something we have to maintain because it's precious. The loyalty of our customer has increased. But this is unfortunately not the case in foreign markets, where our brand, our code and certain flight number combinations of course remind people of a very tragic event. And insofar we are currently discussing that, not only amongst us in the company, but we do discuss it with our customers, both domestically and abroad.
And I would imagine that the argument is really the same on both sides. I mean, it hasn't changed, has it? Some will say the brand is damaged, others will say it's still the national carrier, it has to be maintained. Where do you stand?
Purely legally speaking, we are truly creating a new company. It's a new legal entity with a new aircraft operating certificate, with employees, with a new work contract. So naturally you would start with a new name anyhow. So we have to find the balance in keeping the loyalty of our existing customers, but really suggests that this is a new company with a fresh product, with a new strategy, serving the customers in a completely different way.
Did you find an airline or a company that was in shock?
It was not in shock, it was a little bit paralyzed. I would rather describe it as a paralysis. Everything was happening a little bit in slow motion. It's almost really like the shock of 2040 was still imminent. And that's the reason why it's important that we work on the morale of people, that we try to motivate the entire new workforce. We will move in a new building. We really try to create a new fighting spirit that has suffered. The fighting spirit has suffered.
And the problem you've got, of course, is you need to rebuild morale, rebuild the fighting spirit, whilst at the same time driving down costs. Now, you did it at Aer Lingus. It's going to be much more difficult at Malaysia.
Well, I would describe it really as a task every soccer coach most probably has in taking over a team which is about to drop out of the second league with the ambition to play again in the first league and even take the lead. It's a long march. You have to do it at the same point in time. And again, after the news of last week with regard to the headcount reduction, with regard to the terms and conditions, the pain for the staff is over after September 1st.
Commitment in terms of MH370 and the process.
Yeah.
The first compensation claims were paid just in the last week or so. What can you say on that in terms of commitment?
Even though it is a new company, the new company of course will live up to the obligations and tasks and responsibilities of the task. So we keep on taking good care of the next of kin. We will of course hope that the search will be successful. Let's not speculate that it wouldn't. We all hope that we can put an end to that story, but again, even the new company will step into the obligations with regard to MH370, with regard to the next of kin going forward.